So I've been thinking about America's supreme difficulty with truth-telling and seemingly the lack of capacity as a society for truth-telling, especially about this society's history, and how this is coming up with, books about racism in the United States being banned from schools and curriculums and things like that. Just all of this erasure, all of this combating against truth-telling about United States history that's going on in education right now. And for some context, I spent part of my childhood in England. I went to school there when I was 8 years old, and I was reflecting on a series of books that I remember reading as a school child in England, which again doesn't have the greatest reputation for truth-telling either. But this series that I remember reading as a school child in England, called Horrible Histories, the tagline, "History with the nasty bits left in," that I read when I was 8 years old. And I was thinking about how much reading that series impacted me as a child and how much truth-telling there was. And how, even as a children's book, this series makes Ibram X. Kendi's anti-racist baby look like a cakewalk. All right, they really do mean history with the nasty bits left in. But I wanted to share with you some of this book because it just feels like something that I never encountered in America as a child. Now, and I think there's criticisms to be had of this series, and obviously the bar is set so low. I'm not saying in broad strokes that England has this better figured out than America necessarily, but clearly something that I never got in America. And clearly we're still struggling with this. So I just wanted to give you an example of this book. And I'm reflecting on how much it must have shaped me at the age of 8, being exposed to stuff like this, how it probably set me on the right path. So this is Horrible Histories, The Barmy British Empire by Terry Deary. Bismillah. Introduction. What's an empire? It's a collection of countries all ruled by one emperor. You know the sort of thing. You start with one greedy little state like Rome, and before you know it, you have a Roman Empire. Everyone ruled by a super Caesar, like the nutty Nero or the horrible Hadrian. Sounds cozy, doesn't it? Well, it's not really, because most of the time those countries don't want to be ruled by the emperor. He just sent his bully boys in to take it over. Imagine what that must be like. You lived in your home all your life and enjoyed it. You're sitting at home one day when in marches a bunch of soldiers and they say, "Hello, we've come to take over your house, your street, your town." Who says you can do that? My gun says I can do it. And that's how it was with the British Empire till about 1900. The Brits just marched into somebody's country and said, "We're in charge." And it got worse. Now we're in charge. You will work for us, pay us taxes, supply us with slaves, and die fighting for us. Thanks, but what's in it for us? First, I don't shoot you. And second, you have the honor of being part of the Great British Empire. Not sure this is a great deal. Of course, it was never quite so simple. People rebelled against the British. Some succeeded and some failed. Either way, lots of people died, horribly. In fact, the history of the British Empire is full of horrible people and horrible deeds. Just the sort of stuff for a horrible history. And, as it happens, you're reading one now. Read on. Is it really that hard to tell children the truth?